First, let us see around the topic, just some kind of exploration on the topic itself. So when we mean awareness, yeah, because there are three words in the topic, right? Cultivating, self-awareness. So when we talk about awareness, what exactly we mean? In simple words, it is like knowing ourselves more and more, right? So when we say this with simple words, it is not like knowing our name and our address. Will that be enough? Yeah, it's giving answer, right? So it is not that kind of awareness. We have to know ourselves in and out thoroughly. So what makes us internally, like the thoughts started from ourselves and how we feel, how is our habits, what are our skills, what are our strengths and weaknesses, and what is our experience. So these all are kind of our inner self qualities, right? So we need to analyze inwardly and also the outer part, the surrounding, who are all around us, the activities which we do, how it's making effects on them. So these are also to be analyzed by us, and we need to make some kind of changes, right? So this is the kind of awareness we exactly mean by self-awareness. Yeah, in short, it is like again, it's like a general definition when we are analyzing what is our goals and what is the target, what is the timeline we have, and what are all the opportunities we have around to achieve those goals. And inwardly, spiritually thinking, what is our objective in our life and how to lead our life to achieve all the objectives in our life. And yeah, the next word, cultivate. Why we mean by that word, cultivating self-awareness? We can say that, right? We need to have awareness, or we need to develop our awareness. We need to grow with our awareness state. We have to maintain all through it. So these all words are meant by this single word, cultivate. So when we are talking about cultivating the self-awareness, that means that within ourselves, we are growing it, developing it, and executing it all through the lifetime. So from where this word came, I just start sharing the background for selecting this topic. So again, it's from one of the poem written by our Guru, Sri Vedatri Maharishi. So on the topic radiant life, he has written a poem which is talking about ignorance, emotion, and illusion, the three blemishes in our life, right? So these are limiting our consciousness, and the result is that you reap misery through your deeds. So these three are the reasons which are limiting our consciousness in executing the things. So we are getting some kind of ill effects by our deeds also. So how can we avoid this? Cultivate awareness as a matter of habit and evaluate your thoughts even as they arise. So right from the thought stage, when it is arising, we need to analyze it, evaluate it, by maintaining the awareness. So that maintaining the awareness or analyzing it properly and making the changes. So these all are meant by cultivating the awareness. So Sky, which is simplified Kundalini Yoga, helps you here to weaken your potential. And when your consciousness is elevated by meditation, your life gets radiant and stays so thereafter. So this is the poem driven me to pick this as a topic of discussion today. So let us talk more on self-awareness in next half an hour period. So not only the spiritual part, a lot of the leadership model in current time, a lot of management concepts are being developed on this self-awareness, because the leaders who are going to be in the top position of the organization, who will be responsible for making the key decision, all of them need to have this self-awareness quality. So there are some management models developed how to analyze the self-awareness and how to grow by knowing the self-awareness concepts. So this is the Johari window, which is called as a management model, giving the insight on self-awareness. So basically they are splitting that as a 4 main quadrants. So the first one is the open area, which is known to ourselves and known to others also. So the next one is the blind area, known to others but unknown to self. The next one is the hidden area, unknown to others but known to self. And the fourth one is the unknown area, like it's not known to the self and not known to the others also. So the leadership model is telling that we need to identify first where we stand in each quadrant, what we know, and whether it is really matching with the other side, like what we are seeing as our strengths has to be seen by others also out of us who are around us, getting affected by our activities, should also see that as a strength, then only it is a real strength, right? So that kind of analysis has to be done in each quadrant. This is what the management model is telling. And also how to make positive changes to achieve the progress, to achieve positive results in the entire growth of the organization or team or the department or whatever we call it as, yeah, according to the job role. This is what the management model is telling. So the same could be adopted in our personal life, particularly to move forward in the spiritual path. But this is like a basic concept only. When we talk about self-growth and achieving all our defined goals in our lifetime, so we have to go beyond this also. It's not only limiting to this kind of models, right? So this could be applicable for the organization as a base frame, which can be taken as a reference by us also when we talk about spiritual growth in our life. So in addition to this basic frame, what else could be the options or thoughts we need to have when we talk about self-awareness? Yeah, so these are kind of some point of view, right? Different people may see this in a different manner. So somebody will feel that like being aware, being in the current time, being with the current situation, whatever is happening, and realizing the results immediately, whatever the deeds we did and the effects are seen. So that kind of being in the present is one kind of maintaining awareness or being in self-awareness. And some people will be perceiving in a different manner, which is like considering all the inner strengths, right? Like our interpersonal awareness, commitment, decision making, empathy, and self-esteem, motivation, all these kind of strengths what we have. With that, how to make a positive effect in our situation, wherever we are. And another kind of spiritual point of view, the universe is not punishing you or blessing you. The universe is responding to the vibrational attitude that you are emitting. So this is exactly matching with our cause and effect concept, which is given by our guru also, right? So this is one kind of seeing about the self-awareness. And again, the organizational model as well as the spiritual model is indicating one common thing with the self-awareness. This is like I and we model. So when we are doing it as a single person about self-awareness, it will be giving some kind of insight about our own thoughts, emotions, experiences, skills, and whatever we talked earlier. And we can build a development plan to strengthen all this and to grow them also to move forward, right? This is being done at the eye level. And when we do the same kind of exercise as a group, the same process is happening. Like we can acknowledge that we all have feelings, emotions, and thoughts based on our identities and experiences that are important and need to be shared. So as a team or as a department or as an organization or as a group, we are analyzing our common feelings, thoughts, emotions, and strengthening them. So when you compare these two processes, the effect is significantly different. When we do in personal level, the effect what is achieved is much more than the team exercise. So that is the effect in spiritual language called as satsang. We all might have realized also, right? When we do like a group practice, the effect is realized in a different manner. The reason is it's not like just summing up the number of people who are joining the practices, but it is like kind of multiplied into high level of frequency. That is effect made by this synchronized practice or synchronized gathering. When similar thought people are grouping together and having a practice that creates this kind of synchronized frequencies, which is much above being done in the personal way. So this also to be kept in our mind as a basis for today's discussion, particularly because I thought of talking today more than what is self-awareness or why self-awareness is required. More than that, how self-awareness can be cultivated as a personal level or as a group, being practitioners of this sky yoga. How can we cultivate the self-awareness within us and around us? So that is what I thought of emphasizing more on that. So that is the reason of keeping this concept in our mindset for further discussion. So seeing about self-awareness in Vedatriyam way, as we all know, the practices what we are learning here is starting with the physical exercise. Yeah, Sky Yoga practices consists of physical exercises and meditation, and then the introspection practices, which will be giving more physical as well as mental improvement within ourselves, so that we will be able to make better decisions by proper analysis. And whatever the management model was telling us is all being done through these practices in inner level as well as in our surroundings, right? By all our practices. And we could see the results also. By seeing the results, we will be having a approach, changed approach, right from accepting. So whatever we do, we are not expecting, we are not fixing that this is the objective for doing that, but we keep doing the things and the results are left with nature. So as per cause and effect principle, the results are seen. Once the results are seen, we are accepting that first, and then we analyze why it has happened. So where the change is required. So it has to be changed from the thought level. So when we make some changes in our thoughts, then the words coming out of us also getting changed, and the effects it makes on others also getting changed. So this is the basic concept being followed in all our practices, right from the physical exercises. Because when we do physical exercises, on that particular part, when we focus and do that, we will be able to understand how the physical body is functioning, and we are trying to help it to function in a proper manner. And we are creating a synchronized rhythmic movement effect, so that it is given some kind of encouragement to function properly for the remaining time of our life also. So these are being done through our practices, which we all are very well knowing because practicing it for a while. So formally, we will just have a glimpse on our Sky Yoga practices, our organization, World Community Service Center, how it is functioning, and how it has to be functioning, and what we all can do to the organization to have that similar results, even with the new members as well as us. So the organization is named as World Community Service Center by our guru. So he started this organization with the highest level of goal, achieving peace, the global peace, which he means that the peace has to be attained by every human being in this world. How to achieve that, he defined the pathway also clearly for us. So by practicing all this kind of Sky Yoga practices, every single human being could be able to achieve the peace that could be expanded to the global level. On this concept, he has defined a set of pathway to our organization, and he formed the organization. How this all started? Yeah, before going for that detailed discussion, so I just thought of recalling the poem again, which is driving me to this topic I was mentioning earlier. So cultivate awareness as a matter of habit and evaluate your thoughts even as they arise. So the next paragraph, Sky helps you here to awaken your potential, and when your consciousness is elevated by meditation, your life gets radiant and stays so thereafter. So this is what he kept as a basis also when we get all these practices given by him, the Sky Yoga practices. So let us see how all it started in the beginning. So this is one of the photograph which was showing us the thought level of our Guru. Maharishi is standing, one of the practitioner in the beginning years. This is taken in 1962. He has opened the organization in 1958. He has announced, and he has started this in a common public place. So that is where this photograph is taken. So this is called a self-realization and service center, which is targeting to achieve global peace. This is what the level of thought he has in 1962 itself, when the organization is started budding further. And again, it all didn't start in this level straight away for him. In his younger age, as we all know, Maharishi's life history, which we might have heard in other lectures. So he was born in a poor weaver's family as a seventh child and as a first male child. So this was his family situation. And due to the poverty, he couldn't continue his school education also, even after third standard. And he started helping the family with the family's weaving activity. So he adopted that, and he started making some money for the family's daily living. That was his situation in the early life. And when he was at 11, by seeing all these miseries and poor, the effect of poverty in daily life, so he started analyzing why these things are happening and why there is a difference within the society and why people are getting these problems, and about health also, why the diseases are coming and why people are getting older and why the old age problems are more. These all kind of questions he started getting it, and at the age of 11 onwards, he started getting some support from the society by some kind of gurus, mahans. So at the age of 11, he got support from one of the person in his native place who started teaching some kind of positive concepts and supported on making a habit of reading books. So he started reading the spiritual books. So went through a lot of systematic practices and analysis, and adopting it in his own life and trying to get the answers for those questions what were in his mind. So this kind of early life was there in spite of all poverty related problems. He started continuing this path in his early life also. And again, once he reached to a state around at the age of 35, he mentions that he got a kind of insight and answers in overall to all kinds of problems in human life. So that is where he started developing a systematic practice which could be useful for all the human beings in the world. So with that basis, at the age of 35 itself, he started developing whatever the results we are seeing in our Sky Yoga practices. So it took that many years for him to reach a point which he can assure that these kind of practices will be suitable for any kind of person living in any part of this world. So that is the reason he was taking that much time, adopting that, inspecting that, practicing it, researching, doing research in his own life. So that is the way he started developing all these practices. At the same time, he was fulfilling all his responsibilities, right from starting being a son, doing all the requirements for his parents, and being a sibling, fulfilling all the responsibilities to his sisters and his brother, and also as a husband, because he's married to two of the great ladies, which we have talked about them in different lectures separately. So fulfilling all those responsibilities, then he came out to serve to this human society by these systematic practices. So that is the way he reached to a state of we all calling him as common man's philosopher. Yeah, so doing all this kind of analysis right from the early age made him to reach to a state of seeing the whole organization, World Community Service Center, which we are seeing today. So today, yeah, from 1958 to now, when we compare the journey of this organization, it is having almost 400 plus trusts, which is called as like higher level centers, first level centers all over the country, and few out of country also, out of our India. And more than 2,500 meditation centers across the world are functioning by these practitioners, Sky Yoga practitioners. And it is spread more than now we can say like, yeah, 45 plus countries, and many number of new centers are being opened every moment as we speak. And around 15,000, which is mentioned here, yeah, it is grown up by at least more than 5,000 to these numbers. So that many masters are developed by this organization who are serving through these centers for any new members to adopt the practice. So again, coming back to the objectives and policies of World Community Service Center, this we need to have an insight because we need to have what is our guru's thought when he has started the organization as, and how it is being reflected until today. That is what we are trying to compare by going through this. So as we talked again earlier, the highest level of goal is to bring peace in the society for all human beings in this world. And the society, when we talk about peace in society, the society is made up of individual human beings. So that is the reason every individual should attain peace so that the entire society will be at peace. And again, the policy, when we talk about the policy, he has taken care not to create any kind of conflict with any kind of religion or the regional practices or the cultural practices when we talk about a global practice. So by having this as a mindset, he has developed all these sky practices, which ensures to make a positive effect whoever in this world is following it. So that is what he meant as a policy of WCSC. So the wordings, particularly what he picked here, freedom of thought, freedom of action, and freedom of opinion as conferred by the constitutions of those nations. Because when he's thinking about spreading it all over this world, he considered this at the beginning stage itself, being a non-religious and non-political organization that has to be ensured to avoid creating conflict. This is what he has mentioned in the policy of the organization also. Okay, now as we talk now, so we have seen that the organization has grown to this level and spread it all over the world, more than 40 countries as of today, and many members are following it. So what we should do now by knowing all this or by discussing this? See, when we consider ourselves in today's group, yeah, around 14 of us here, or whoever is listening this through other media also, like YouTube or whatever. So we can group like three different kinds, right? When we consider all of us. So the first one will be some of us will be part of the administrative team of the WCSC Sky Center, wherever it is functioning. And the second one will be like a member of the center. Like as a member, we joined any of the center, we learned and practicing Sky Yoga. And the third could be like a new member hearing about WCSC or Sky Yoga for the first time. So only these three could be the kinds, whatever we are trying to group all of us, right? So with each one of us, let us think by seeing the goals of the organization and the effectiveness of these practices, how we can utilize that, or how we are taking it through further. That is what we need to compare at this point of moment. There used to be a saying, right? By failing to plan, you are preparing to fail. So keeping this in mind, any new member hearing about this, the importance of the life's goal and why we need to improve our self-awareness. Is there any systematic concept to achieve that? Meaning exactly as the title of today's discussion, like cultivating self-awareness. Is there any systematic practice there other than this? When you think in that point of view, we can assure as a Sky Yoga practitioner for a while, the Sky Yoga practices will be definitely giving all the results required to be there by the exact wordings of cultivating self-awareness. So when we hear that as a new member, we can try to taste how it is, right? So you can try to contact one of the nearby Sky Center to learn the Sky Yoga and then adopt it in your life to see any kind of changes. So that could be the action for the third set of people, or third kind of people when we hear this. And the second one is like, want to quote another saying here, you grow through what you go through. As we all know, we are practicing for a while. We learned the Sky Yoga practices and practicing it for a while. So we need to grow further, whatever we have gone through, right? So we are going through as well as growing through by learning and practicing the Sky Yoga practices. So let us look back, what is the objective of all these practices and what is the organizational goals and how we can adopt those by practicing it effectively and making some changes in our lifetime also. And also the benefits which we got can be spreaded to others, right? So as a member of any center and getting the benefit in our lifetime with realistic practices, we can try to spread through our word of mouth to all our contacts, and whatever the possible needy people will be getting the similar benefit also. So that could be the second kind of people can do. That is a request of mentioning here. And the next one, the opportunities for the first kind. It could be part of the administrative team or administrative team of the WCSC or any of the Sky Center. So whenever we might have seen in our own circle also, right, when you refer someone about these practices, they will be trying to join once and see the effectiveness by seeing realistically how it is being done in our centers or in group practices. So that is what anyone will do. Even though you are sharing all your experiences by words, they should see that for real, right? So whenever a new person are coming to the center, they should be able to realize the organizational goals and the reflections of the practices on the people, on all the members. So that will be significantly making a positive effect for any new people who are viewing. So that will be the basic objective aim for the first kind of people who is being the part of the administrative team. So if we keep the organizational goals and our guru's dream in our mind, and also the practices gave the benefit to us and we are trying to spread to all. So with these two bases, when we try to exhibit this in our group practices, definitely it will be creating magical changes with many lives. So that is a request that goes to the first kind of people. And one more thing here, we are talking about IV kind of concept here, right, earlier. So the effect is also being significantly different when we do the group practices. So that is the reason we need to maintain a kind of group practices always. If the center is there and it has to be having a periodical kind of group sessions so that it will be strengthened more and more, not only the regular practitioners as well as to the new practitioners. So when we are doing a group practice, it's creating a positive high level effect, which will be giving benefit to entire group up to the organization level. So that is the reason we need to maintain that also to ensure that our function activities are happening as per the organizational goal. And when we talk about opportunities, another point also thought of sharing here, because we have seen in this recent years, like 2 years back when entire world is closed down due to the COVID breakthrough and due to the lockdown and travel restrictions all over this world. So all the sectors are going down on the negative path, right? Because they couldn't develop on the business or whatever the sector they are in. But our organization, when you see the growth was in other manner, it grew in very rapid manner in this particular years because the entire world is looking for such a practice. So that is the opportunity or situation in current time. All the people are in need for such kind of practice. So that is the reason we can expand this opportunities, whatever we got through these practices, to all the needy people in our circle, so that it can be grown further and further, and the entire world could get the benefit out of it also. So with that request, I wanted to display one more slide before we conclude. This is Maharishi's insight on the functioning of World Community Service Center. The opportunity and the environment should grow for people at various countries, at various departments, on the need to get out of illusion and get clarity. This high aim of world welfare is growing amongst many wealthy political leaders, businessmen, authors, and scientists. With their cooperation, one world cultural center to be formed through that the people's culture should be enhanced in a planned way. At this advanced scientific age, the center should function by touching the mind, invoking for welfare. Yes, who should start this? So that is where he said that World Community Service Center is the entity functioning as the right answer. Even though these words are written many years ago by our Guru, this is being proved in current times. The World Community Service Center is recognized as one of the reputed serving organization by FSO in UNO. So we got some kind of voice to make some change in the entire world community level. So that is where we are standing as an organization in current time. So let us all keep our Guru's dream and having the benefits enjoyed in our life, let us try to spread through to all the people in our circle. So with that request, I will conclude the topic of discussion today. Thank you. Thanks for listening. And